Welcome everyone to Chapter 6, Data Safety and Security, a critical and foundational topic in the modern digital age. This chapter is essential for understanding the principles, threats, and legal frameworks required to protect our most valuable asset, data. Acquiring this knowledge is vital for any professional operating in today's highly connected environment. Let's dive in and learn how to proactively manage risks, ensure robust protection for information, and maintain compliance. Our journey through this chapter is clearly structured into 3 logical and actionable sections. We will begin by identifying cybersecurity threats to map out the current risk landscape. Next, we will cover practical strategies for protecting personal and organizational data. Finally, we will conclude by examining the privacy and data protection policies that govern data handling. This framework will guide us from threat recognition to applying practical protection measures and adhering to legal standards. Section 6.1 focuses on the crucial first step of effective defense: knowing your opponent. A successful security strategy must start with a thorough understanding of the different types of threats, vulnerabilities, and potential risks that exist within both IT systems and human processes. Our goal here is to learn to think like an attacker so we can build a much more intelligent and resilient defense. The rapid expansion of digital data and technologies like IoT, cloud, and AI has unfortunately led to a corresponding increase in cyber threats. At the heart of information security is the CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Any successful attack compromises one or more of these 3 pillars. This is particularly relevant in highly exposed sectors like finance and healthcare, where sophisticated cross-border cybercrime is a major challenge. Always remember the CIA triad as the benchmark for evaluating any security measure. We need clear, distinct terminology to analyze risk scientifically. A threat is a potential harmful action. A weakness is an existing flaw in the system. A vulnerability is a weakness that a threat can actively exploit to cause harm. Crucially, risk only materializes when both a threat and a vulnerability are present. Mastering this relationship is fundamental to setting up a sound risk management framework. REIT and a vulnerability are present. Threats are classified by their source, requiring us to implement a multi-layered defense strategy. Threats can be human-related, e.g., social engineering, phishing, insider threats; technology-related, e.g., malware, ransomware, zero-day exploits; or process and management threats, e.g., misconfigurations, policy failures. In practice, most successful attacks exploit a combination of these factors. True defense must combine technical solutions with strong operational processes and continuous human awareness training. This slide introduces the most common and damaging cyber attack techniques we must be prepared for. We'll cover the mechanics of phishing, deception, malware, harmful software, ransomware, extortion, DDoS, service denial, SQL injection, database compromise, and man-in-the-middle (MITM), communication interception. Each targets a distinct weakness. Recognizing these diverse attack vectors allows us to implement targeted and specific defensive measures. Phishing remains highly effective because it exploits the human element through trickery and deception. The primary goal is to steal sensitive data such as login credentials or credit card numbers by masquerading as a trustworthy source. Look out for unexpected emails that demand urgent action, contain suspicious links, or use generic greetings. The simplest and most effective defense is a healthy skepticism. Always verify the sender and avoid clicking suspicious links. Let's differentiate between general harmful software and the highly disruptive extortion threat. Malware is the umbrella term for any malicious software. Ransomware is a specific type of malware that encrypts a victim's files and demands a ransom payment for the decryption key. Incidents like the Colonial Pipeline attack demonstrate the crippling impact of ransomware on operations. The best practical defense against data encryption is a rigorous, isolated, and frequently tested data backup system. These 3 technical attacks primarily compromise the availability and integrity of our systems. DDoS attacks flood a server with traffic, making a website or service unavailable. SQL injection exploits application input vulnerabilities to manipulate the database. MITM attacks intercept communications between two parties, often exploiting unencrypted connections like public Wi-Fi. Prevention requires multiple technical controls: traffic filtering for DDoS, secure coding practices for SQL injection, and ubiquitous encryption for MITM. Awareness of the warning signs is the user's critical line of defense. Be vigilant for suspicious sender addresses, often slightly misspelled, unusual or mismatched URLs when hovering over a link, urgent or threatening language, unexpected file attachments, especially executables or zipped files, and a lack of personalized greetings. Training yourself to recognize these red flags can prevent the majority of social engineering attacks. Social engineering is the art of deception, manipulating people into revealing confidential information or granting access. Attackers leverage human nature, trust, fear, and curiosity to bypass technical security. Common tactics include pretexting, creating a believable fake story, baiting, leaving malware-infected USB sticks, and exploiting human willingness to help, authority/urgency. A strong security culture, where employees are encouraged to question unusual requests, is the best defense against this sophisticated human-focused threat. This slide outlines essential security hygiene for individuals and organizations. Core principles include verifying the source before any action, never sharing sensitive credentials like passwords or OTPs, enabling multi-factor authentication, MFA, on all critical accounts, keeping software updated to patch vulnerabilities, and reporting any suspicious activity immediately. Consistent adherence to these simple principles drastically minimizes personal and corporate risk exposure. For organizations, managing security is a continuous process governed by standards like the NIST Cybersecurity Framework, CSF. The NIST CSF is based on 5 core, interconnected functions: identify, know your assets and risks; protect, implement safeguards like encryption and MFA; detect, monitor for anomalies; respond, handle incidents efficiently; and recover, restore operations. This cyclical framework ensures that security is a state of perpetual readiness, not a one-time configuration. The formal risk management process requires methodical assessment and treatment. The process involves establishing the context, defining scope, conducting a risk assessment, identifying threats and vulnerabilities, deciding on risk treatment, mitigation steps, and finally, formally accepting the residual risk, the risk level remaining after all controls are implemented. Risk management is ultimately about reducing potential harm to an acceptable level aligned with business objectives.